On the last day of the year 2000, a mother used her spare key to enter her daughter's house. She was just checking in. She was not ready for what she found. At the bottom of the stairs was her son-in-law, dead. She ran through the house looking for her daughter. She found her in the attic. And her granddaughter, also dead. Then she went to her grandson's room. He was gone too. 4 people. 1 family. 1 night. And after 24 years, nobody has been caught. Stay with me, because the details of this case are unlike anything you have ever heard. This is the Miyazawa family. Mikio was 44 years old and worked at a marketing company in Tokyo. His wife Yasuko was 41, a private teacher who spent most of her time taking care of their 2 children. Their daughter Nina was 8 years old. She was very good at ballet and also played piano. Their son Ray was 6. He had a developmental disorder and could not speak or communicate easily. The family worried about him every day. They lived in a quiet neighborhood in Setagaya, Tokyo, next to a park, a skating rink, and near a baseball field. It was a perfect place for 2 small children to grow up. They looked like a normal, happy family. They were, until December 30th, 2000. That evening, the family went shopping around 6 p.m. Later that night, Mikio sat in his office using his computer, checking documents and browsing the internet. In the living room, Yasuko and Nina watched television until about 9:30 p.m. Ray was already upstairs, probably sleeping. The neighborhood was quiet. Then, sometime around 10 p.m., a man entered the house through a small bathroom window on the first floor. Investigators believe Mikio was the first to notice something was wrong. He fought back, but the attacker had a knife. Mikio fell at the bottom of the stairs with too many wounds to survive. The knife broke during this first attack. Yasuko heard the noise. Her first instinct was to protect her daughter. She took Nina and hid in the attic, but the attacker found them. He used a different knife, one from the kitchen. Then he went to Ray's room. Ray did not have any cuts. He was strangled. In one night, Mikio, Yasuko, Nina, and Ray were gone. But what made this case different from any other murder was this. The attacker did not leave. He stayed in the house for hours. He cut all the phone lines, so when Haruko, Yasuko's mother, tried to call that night, the phone never rang. Then he went to the kitchen, opened the refrigerator, took ice cream and barley tea, and sat down to eat. He found the first aid kit and used it to treat his own wounds. His right hand had been injured during the fight with Mikio. Police later found bandages and blood-stained fingerprints, his blood, not the family's. He went through Mikio's office and destroyed some personal documents. He used the bathroom and did not flush. At 1:18 a.m., he turned on Mikio's computer and visited the website of a local theater. 5 minutes later, the computer turned off. He was in that house for approximately 4 hours, with 4 people he had just killed. And he was not in a hurry. When the police arrived, they could not believe what they found. The attacker had left so much evidence. Fingerprints, footprints, DNA, and clothing. There was a worn scarf, sports shoes, brand Slazenger, size 27.5 centimeters, a waist bag, a gray fisherman hat, a long-sleeve shirt with blood, a jacket and black gloves. For a moment, investigators thought this would be easy. With all of this, they believed they would catch him in days. They were wrong. The Slazenger shoes were unusual. That specific model was only manufactured and sold in South Korea. Only 4,530 pairs were ever made. The waist bag had something even stranger inside. Traces of skateboard wax, a faint smell of Drakkar Noir perfume, and sand. But not normal sand. When scientists analyzed it, they discovered it came from the Arizona desert in the United States. No one could explain how Arizona sand ended up in a waist bag in Tokyo. The attacker left blood everywhere, bandages, fingerprints, DNA. In any normal case, this would have been enough. But when police searched their database, there was no match. They expanded the search to South Korea, still no match. In Japan, every person over 17 is registered in the national system. In South Korea, the same. This man did not exist in any database. He had no criminal record anywhere. In 2005, 5 years later, new DNA analysis gave one more clue. The attacker had mixed origins. His mother's side was European, possibly from the area near the Adriatic Sea. His father's side was East Asian. These genetic markers appeared in 1 out of every 4 Koreans, 1 out of every 10 Chinese, and 1 out of every 13 Japanese. More than 8 million fingerprint checks were done. The DNA was sent to neighboring countries. Nothing matched. Nothing. For 24 years, investigators have had 3 main theories. The first is the skater. Before the murders, Mikio had arguments with young skaters who used the park behind his house. They made too much noise, and he complained many times. Inside the waste bag, traces of skateboard wax were found. The description of the attacker matched a young skater. 15 to 35 years old, athletic, short hair. But police identified most of the skaters in the area. None of them matched. The second is the soldier. At the time, there were around 50,000 American military personnel in Japan. The Arizona sand connects to areas with large military bases in the United States. The DNA profile also suggested mixed European and East Asian heritage. The Miyazawa house was near train stations with direct access to central Tokyo. Easy to reach, easy to leave. This theory was never confirmed, but never ruled out. The third is the internet post. This one is the most disturbing. 3 days before the murders, a user named Mr. Kuromut posted on a Japanese forum. He wrote about harming animals since he was 3 years old, and that his desires had grown. He said, "Now when I see the happy family next door, I want it to be like the Oita family murder case. The deadline is 11:59 p.m. on December 31st. I am thinking of killing them before the new century arrives." The post was written on December 27, 2000, 3 days before the murders. The user claimed he was 13 years old. Police investigated and said this theory was not credible. But the post was never fully explained. Today, 35 police officers are still assigned full-time to this case. Every year, on the anniversary, officers go to the Miyazawa house. They bow. They apologize to the family, because they still have not found him. But there is one person who has never stopped looking. Setsuko Miyazawa, Mikio's mother, is now 92 years old. For 24 years, she has walked through train stations and public places in Setagaya, handing out flyers. She shows people the description of the attacker, and asks if anyone remembers anything. She has done this every week for 24 years. She is still waiting for an answer. Is still open. The attacker is still free. Somewhere in this world he is alive. He knows what he did. And for 24 years, he has not been found. Some cases are solved by science. Some are solved by luck. And some are never solved at all. The Miyazawa family deserved better. And so does Setsuko. If this story stayed with you, subscribe. Every week, I bring you a true story that most people have never heard. Next week, a mystery hidden in a painting. A woman history forgot.